What up, guys? Welcome to the second episode, this time with my own server. Let me show you how to make those rafts, what I showed you in the episode before. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy some of the tips that I can give on building the rafts. The first one what we're gonna build is the one I showed you as the first one in the first episode that I mostly build. It's the one of the simplest one, but most useful. I also worked a bit on the sound, so I hope this recording will be much better quality as the one before. Okay, so starting up, I already have set it up. Some things around me, just to keep me safe. Typically I forgot what are the activating cheats for the server. Check it out fast. Well, this is the part where I don't want anyone to watch, so welcome again. All is activated, all is done. All we have to do is go to creative mode, go someplace suitable for a raft. I'm just gonna choose any place of water. Seems a bit dangerous. But it's okay. So what we need is a raft. It can be any raft. I believe the normal raft, the wooden raft and the metal raft have the same limits. Though this one I didn't check quite exactly yet. At least I didn't count it. But they seem pretty the same. Then let's just take a normal one, since it's gonna be a beginning raft. You gotta go into the water on the depth. that allows you to place the raft. Of course, what I'm doing at the first, I'm lowering the foundations. Sorry. What I'm using mostly on the beginning is wooden pillars and thatch foundations, because it's much cheaper. The first thing what I'm placing mostly is a pillar. My advice, do not place it directly on the top of this, the wooden hole, just because you won't be able to cover the whole raft. What I'm advising to do is to move it a bit farther, like just the edges of the pillar touching the hole itself. And this pillar is not perfectly straight, so just try to simply stand straight in front of it. Or you can do it a second way. You can push a K button and also try to align it perfectly by other view. Especially that this method doesn't work anymore. You try to push the button and then get off. If you try to ride the raft and get off it. So another foundation, you have to place it next to it. What you're doing in forwarding steps is placing foundation, and the same. Yeah, you gotta make sure that the foundation is lower than the one with the pillar. Seems much easier sometimes not. Don't know why. What is it dependent from? My advice is simply to come closer to the foundation itself and place it. Something like... did we just messed up something? Okay, that's a perfect one. So when we have already foundations leveled up, it's not too difficult from now on. Of course, you need stone foundations, because at the time you're at the wooden foundation, you are able to build already stone. So my advice is to just level up the stone and make it stone right away. Next step will be to actually figuring out if we made it protected. Because sometimes if you do it incorrectly, you can have pieces of your raft sticking out from the front of the raft. or from the back if you do it too far to the front, of course. And now what we need is a wooden platform, so we can easily move in and out the raft. Oh yeah. The best way to place it is on the side of the raft, because when you're moving forward and sometimes enemy comes in front of your raft, and when you're on the shallow waters it might be glitchy enough to push him inside your raft, and then you're actually defenseless, because while you're riding your raft you don't expect anyone to get inside your raft, so actually really dangerous. That's why the best way to place the entrance is on the side, because then you can simply move away from the person very easily and very fast, instead of moving towards him first. Unless the person knows which way you have your front of the raft, then it can be also dangerous, because of course she can come in front, but then you don't have any platforms if you go into deeper water, and there will be no standing points for them to wait for some obstacle to push them in. Furthermore, we have to build some walls. Of course, building walls is always without windows, because then people can simply shoot you down inside your own house. And windows needs, yeah, walls with the windows needs windows if you want to be protected, and these takes extra space from the raft, so you don't want that. You need as much slots on the raft used for useful stuff as possible. Now you need some roof, you need some hole to be able to go on the roof, so that it's much easier for us to manipulate the surroundings. If there's only one way in, one way out, that's much more difficult. Okay, the way I build it on the beginning always. Sorry. The way I always build it on the beginning is trying to get all space on the raft useful. so that I can place as much higher stuff as possible, like fabricator, for example. It will never fit on a one-leveled building. So what I have to do is make it 2 levels. Alright, since we already have entrance up, we have to build a door and a ladder. Of course, first we have to build the door to know where the ladder opens, when the door opens, so that we know how to place the ladder. The best way to place the ladder is to place in the opposite way to the door opening. Of course, this one doesn't matter where you place the ladder. It can be here, it can be here, it can be also here. The most useful way is when you place it by opening this way, so you can walk out right away towards the towards outside of your raft, towards the door. Because we're gonna build a dino door on the top. What we need is a second set of platform. Soon the other one will disappear. Maybe next time, if you leave in the comments if you would want to see it, I can show you on PvP how to level up pretty fast to level 16 and build that kind of raft on global server. At least how I do it, because there are probably many tutorials, but how I find it the easiest way, without having to tame anything for a longer period of time, because I'm not really a tamer, I'm more a player. Like to build. Okay, this one is very difficult to place perfectly. The best way to place it is simply by pushing a K and aligning both sides with the edge of the boat, as well as with the platform in the middle. Yep, I think that's good enough. And the same thing we are doing, you cannot allow it to snap to the first one, because if it snaps and someone destroys it, the whole line goes down. That's why what you want to do is do the same operation on this side, on the other side, simply by trying to align it perfectly with the raft. Now you don't have to worry about inside of the raft. It is gonna be a bit covered, but the point is you can still build under on it, on the gate, on the bottom of the gate. Try to make sure that there is no open space around, so that there is no one being able to shoot through. Okay, let's go for the another. Okay, so okay. Yep, something like this. The fourth one will be a bit higher, so it will be a little bit difficult to navigate with it, but still must be done, so that you have protected your base. And this is very useful as well as airlock. You don't have to open just one door, but two doors to get inside. That's why later on you're just removing the door inside. It's less comfortable, but more safe. This way, anyone who wants to get in your base is always trying to get through here. The next step that you must do to cover up the top of your base is building up a door frames. Oh yeah, I have it. So that you can also use this place as a trap for other dinos to tame them. Because when you get the dino through here, into here on the beginning of stage of your Ark Survival Evolved experience, you may leave the door over here for a while, so that you can more manipulate with what's going on around inside of here. Further on, next step, what you're mostly making, and of course make sure, or try to make sure, that when you are closing your door, the door frame is not really visible. It's just a fraction of it maybe, but that's not catching any eye. Only professional players can recognize that it can be destroyed. So next step that you're doing is trying to build a roof. One only is enough on this side. Then the next thing you want to do, so it will be much easier to get inside with bigger dinos, you want to build a dino gate on a roof. A roof dino gate. I don't know how to call it. Yes, on one side only. We screwed up a little bit with the ladder, because now we have to place roof over here. And remember, this whole building I'm doing without any fly mode or anything, so you can actually do it physically in a game without struggle. Getting up some doors. Of course, my advice is to build right away, or to unlock right away, a metal door frame like this, because you don't have to spend your engram points on a stone one. I do it from stone right now because that's a fast option to show you just how to do it, but I'm sure you get my point. Okay, now since we are done already with this one, we have one door inside, which is pretty big. This of course have to go. Okay, I cannot jump, I don't know why. Oh, now I can. Okay, going back to inside, since we already have our raft designed and protected, as you can see, there is actually no space open that anyone can see inside, or, well, my mistake, there is some little bit, but like I said, this is not really really dangerous for you, but it is possible to shoot through it. Going back to inside. Well, what I do mostly is, before I totally remove this door or this this platform, which I did of course too fast, before I remove it, after I already placed Smithy on the other side of the raft, let me just fast show you how it looked like. Towards the end of the game, of course, or towards the end of your leveling up. Now make sure it's not too close to the walls, because if you place it too close to the walls it might stick out and then people can just destroy it. Now on the beginning I mostly placed two of them next to each other. As well as pastels. I think I made it one more time. And the best way to keep the stuff or to use the stuff is keeping it in smithy. Smithy gives you a lot of space, by the way. That's why I use it as a storage box. Now if you place it facing towards you, you actually don't have to leave bigger space between them. You can leave the space, very small space, actually them touching together. Because normally when you place a smithy you place it in quite a space. I believe there is something trying to eat me now. Oh, huh. It doesn't matter. Let them try. Now we are in water. And going home. So what we achieved right now is quite a lot of space, of storage space, and enough space to build the rest of the stuff that we need inside. There's another thing we want to build. Fabricator. Now it's always difficult with Fabricator. Always try to place it as close to yourself as possible. Difficult to not allow it sticking out. Okay, we did quite good this time. What we need before it is generator. Generator always place after you place a fabricator. This way you are more flexible with your choice of placement of generator. This amount of stuff in the inventory is confusing a bit. But okay. Have to find a way to place it right. Okay. Nice. You can nicely blend it with Fabricator. so it doesn't take much space. Now, since we have it already here, we try to place it as close to the middle of the raft as possible, so that we have electricity in every space, every corner, and more. Now, next step, of course, you always place it closer to the back of your raft, especially because here is the place where you're gonna put your auto turrets. No, it doesn't always work the way we want. It's all about alignment. It's very difficult to align it the right way. But, well, it would be okay if it would be like this. It's not a great problem, but my advice is most probably to build those gates before you build the dino gates on the top. That would be the best. And this way we can avoid conflicts with the roof. Alright. This one is okay. And this one also should fit in the same way, exactly. But like I said, it's still possible. I might screw it up twice, but you just can make sure it's simply aligned the first time. If you don't want to lose lots of materials by crushing these little puppies. Now we need auto turrets. Now we cannot place the heavy ones, but we can place the normal ones. And that's mostly enough. No, I'm so clumsy. Now that's pretty dangerous part of the game as well, because you're exposing yourself for attacks of enemies. That's why the best way to do it is somewhere in the middle of the sea, so that no one is able to hit you. Now, what you need to do is check where you can place them to be able to give electricity. Exactly. pretty much difficult in placing all of them in the right position. But you may place them as well like this, and here you can place crops with plant X or plant Y, which one you find more amusing to use. So my advice mostly is simply 4 turrets on each corner, mostly because you don't need so much defense on the water. Keep on falling in the water. That is pretty annoying. Okay, since we don't see anything, we need... Okay, I'm off. Okay. Try to place one here. Are able to feed it? Yes. Reach the limit of structures. Okay, then recalculating, we need to replace 2 little towers. That's sad. And one more. Alright, we have them up. base. Don't have a bed and we reached the limit. Now that's something. And I'm going for this one. Mostly on the beginning I built two, but later on I built just one. Now this bed is quite expensive, but it's very useful. The best bed you can have inside. Okay. Of course you can place one more smithy in here, or by choice you can place industrial cook. Only problem is that must be luckily it can be done on the other level. But yeah, this is how you can actually figure out your base. Of course the inside setup you can manipulate in your own favor, however you want. You can fit even everything probably inside down here, because you have a lot of space. The only thing I did wrong is I didn't build inside mebbles before I built the whole construction, so that was my mistake in showing you how to do it. But I'm sure you won't do the same mistake since I'm telling you about it. Now let me show you overall how it looks like. Should have enough defense for you to be able to protect it. Let's get some oil. Well, since we don't need this one, one more add-on to it, which is pretty necessary. Because when you fall into water, then you are not really able to get in back, because it would be too high. But yes, this is pretty much my first project. this nicely protected, because then nothing actually can damage your raft. Only from inside, but it's something rare to see. Let's get some gasoline. And let's get some ammo. Coming back with some ammo. Well, enough ammo to get the whole army down. When you have it, when this is up, you don't have to be afraid of anything anymore. By taming, by swimming around, mostly players won't even come close to your base if they see those up and running. Now, one difficult part about it is to get to all of the turrets. Mostly they are too far to reach them. So what you have to do is get some jumping skills. Let's leave the rest. We don't actually need them all. Let's see how it works. Okay, now since I said already that there is gonna be a problem with navigation with it, you can simply use OK button to be able to easier see everything around you. So as you see, it works pretty well. Maybe not perfect solution. Okay, where we are going out of this canyon. Okay, it is possible to do it. It's probably not the easiest way, but there must be a way. Now you really have to be careful while riding a raft, because if you get stuck in swamps, you might never come out again, or it might be extremely difficult. But yeah, this is how it works, this is how you make it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and till the next time, subscribe and like and tell me what you think about it.